very much for being here. So we shall start the meeting. So I'll call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is President Sami Malaki. So we shall start the meeting with Rotary Grace, which will be led by Rotarian Caroline Mukami.
Thank you, President Malaki. O God and giver of all good, we thank thee for our daily food. May Rotary friends and Rotary ways help us to serve thee all our days.
Amen. Thank you very much, Rotarian Mukami. Next is the loyal toast. For this, I shall ask us to charge our glasses. If you don't have any glass or mug, please place your hand over your heart. To His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, to the President. Next, we shall have the 4-way test, and this is by Rotaract Chelsea Nyambura from Rotaract Club of UN Afia. Rotaract Chelsea.
Hello, everyone. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you very, very much, Rotaract Chelsea. We were just having a short conversation, and I was telling her that she was the first doctor to show up on time, which is a new. Next, we shall move to announcements. The first announcement will be from the Club Admin Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, friends and family of Rotary, good evening. From the Club Admin docket, we have an announcement that is on the twinning trip with our twin club, the Rotary Club of Kampala Metropolitan, whereby they're inviting us to Kampala for a road trip or a return trip. The proposed date that they have given us is between the 19th to the 26th of March, or the 19th or the 26th of March, one of those weekends. Estimated costs or proposed costs, 600,000 shillings, Uganda shillings, and COVID tests, 100,000 Ugandan shillings per person. The activities proposed are boat ride, game drive, and the costs, the 700,000, that is inclusive of COVID testing, is for 2 nights on full boat basis per person sharing. So for planning purposes, guys, mark your calendars and let's get ready to go to Kampala. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Club Admin Director Liz. Those who recall, we had an amazing trip. We had an amazing trip at the coast in November. We were supposed to be having one trip a year, but after that trip, the Ugandans said, you know, they had to return the hand. So let's plan. The Club Admin docket will come up with a budget from our side for those who want to drive, for those who want to fly, so that we can go in large numbers. I mean, and those who know the Ugandans know how to party. And they actually give the hospitality is just A1. So yes, we've been told the costs. It's about 30,000 on the higher side, Lizzie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the 100,000 for the test, the COVID test, and 600,000 for the trip itself. So let's plan for it. We shall give more details as we proceed and also pay plans so that we can make installment payments and remit monies to them. The next announcement is from service projects. Those who are aware, we are developing a global grant project in conjunction with the Rotary Club of Dundas Valley Sunrise in Canada. And the project, has, our initial size was 30,000 US dollars, with our club giving 10% of the amount. But the project has since morphed, and we are seeing it getting to about 50,000. And the extra amount basically was to cater for training of the teachers. We find that most projects target students and not many target, the teachers who are living with the students. So it's more of a project to empower the teachers, to train the teachers and to equip the teachers so that they also feel like the project is on their side and they can own it. So through the course of pitching this project to various clubs, there are 2 other clubs that are interested in taking part. And this is outside the global grant. So they want to work with 2 more schools. And this is to a tune of 20,000 US, so 10,000 for each school. We shall keep updating the membership as we proceed. And I hope that, we can get a lot of participation from members. The year we haven't been able to do so much due to the restrictions, but here's an opportunity for us to start working on a project that we have designed from start to finish, and it's really exciting. Thank you. Okay, so for the next part, I shall ask Rotarian Liz Wanjiru to introduce our guest speaker for this evening. Rotarian Liz.
Thank you once again, Mr. President. So today we have the pleasure of having a talk from Vuyanzi, who is a coach and led by 20 years of experience in the education sector and her heart. Vuyanzi has leveraged and navigated the transition of her career into who she is today. Vuyanzi specializes in working with women who are looking to align their purpose with their soul-connected livelihood. Vuyanzi's strength comes from inspiring and lifting up others. As a certified life coach, she helps women to exercise their power within. On her show, coming to YouTube, Vuyanzi Coaches, she empowers the viewers through their observance into private coaching sessions. As an inspirational speaker, she uses her words to heal and empower others. She is the host of the Black Leading Ladies on Purpose podcast, where she not only amplifies her voice to teach and inspire, but she also brings on guests who do the same. She's an international bestseller in which she has penned pieces to motivate the hearts and minds of the readers. Vuyanzi recently followed her own soul-connected path by moving from the United States of America, the place of her birth, to Kenya, the place of her heart. Members, join me in welcoming Coach Vuyanzi to Madaraka. Karibu sana Vuyanzi.
Thank you so much. Hello to everyone. I am going to, can I share my screen? I will continue to share my screen. So thank you so much to everyone. I am Vuyanzi. Tonight, we are here to talk about moving from stuck to unstuck, 3 keys to help you move forward in the life you desire. I know that right now, I am not necessarily looking at your faces, but I'll tell you this, if you can put your face on the screen and be attentive with me for just a little bit, that would be completely awesome. I want you engaged, I want you here, and I want you to hear the words that I'm going to say. I'm hoping that tonight something will resonate with you. So Just a little bit about me. You just heard and I didn't realize it was going to be read. You heard my biography, but I am a former middle school teacher, high school teacher, and college professor. I'm a mother as well. I am now a certified life coach, as you heard. My show, Vuyanzi Coaches, as of this weekend, is now on YouTube. I am the host of Black Leading Ladies on Purpose, where you can hear at probably any outlet that you listen to your podcast, Spotify, iTunes. And finally, I am an international bestseller for 4 books that I co-wrote in the United States. So welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for being with me, and thank you Rotary Club for allowing me to speak to you. Welcome to those who are still coming in and joining. You're not too late. So let me just say this. I want to preface what I say with this. At any time during our talk this evening, if something resonates with you, if something hits you, if something happens where you're like, whoa, that's me, I need to talk to someone, I am offering the Rotary Club at, tonight, an opportunity, anyone who wants an opportunity for a free coaching session, which helps you to move the needle towards the life you so desire, especially if you're hearing something. What I'm gonna do is in the chat right now, I am posting the link. I think I just posted yes, absolutely. I am just posting the link right now for everyone, for anyone who hears something that inspires them to want to click that link and have a session. That being said, I'm wondering if anyone here has ever said to themselves, I'm stuck. Has anyone here ever said or ever been stuck? Is anyone here even currently feeling a little stuck? Listen, we're in the new year. Some of you said to yourselves, and some of you are saying to yourselves, man, I thought that by now I would be at, or I would be doing X, Y, Z. But I find that I'm still in the same position that I was before and nothing has changed. Could that be you? Could that be you tonight? So if that is you, one thing I always say is, I don't believe in, just want to do something. I don't believe in coincidences. I'll say that for the people in the back. I don't believe in coincidences. If you are here and you hear something this evening that hits you, I use this terminology. It is your alarm clock of destiny. I want you engaged, so I'm going to ask you to do this. This is the teacher in me. Go ahead and type in alarm clock of destiny. Go ahead and type that in the chat. I want to make sure you're listening. So it is your alarm clock of destiny. What do I mean by alarm clock of destiny? Well, I'm going to say this. I'll give you this story. It was it was January. Thank you for those of you who are typing stuff in right now, the alarm clock of destiny. It was January of 2018. I was working a job in which I was traveling 80% of the time. I was traveling so much that sometimes I would be walking in the airport. And you know what would happen to me? I'd be rolling my suitcase behind me and I'd say, where am I going again? Because I was traveling that much. And maybe for some people, that's the life they want to live. That's fine. However, for what I wanted to be doing, number one, I didn't want to work a full-time job, and I was working a full-time job. Number two, I wanted a chance to work on my own personal projects, I had an entrepreneurial spirit. But nevertheless, I was in this situation. And it got to a point where I felt like I was being crushed. Anyone ever felt like they were being crushed before? And that feeling of dissatisfaction was my alarm clock of destiny. when one morning I woke up and I said, I have to give my 2 weeks notice. Yes, I have a company card. Yes, I have a company credit card. Yes, I have a gas card. Yes, I don't have to pay car insurance, but nevertheless, and the money wasn't that bad either. Nevertheless, in that situation, I knew that I couldn't stay. What was that? That was my alarm clock of destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, when you hear something that touches you, that is your alarm clock of destiny. You're here right now. You're listening to the sound of my voice right now. And this, I dare to say, just being here is in part your alarm clock of destiny to say, wake up, it's time to move from stuck to unstuck. Now, what's in store for you this evening? These are the 3 keys. Spoiler alert. The 3 keys are this: your past, your present, and your future. I really hope someone's taking notes tonight, because these are the 3 keys: your past, your present, and your future. So stay with me for a quick moment. As you listen this evening, there are going to be some things that are going to happen. For some of you, you're going to feel resistance. Let's talk about resistance for a moment. What does resistance make you do? And I say this to my coaching clients too. When you hear something and you immediately feel yourself saying, well, that's not me. That's not the case. And you almost feel yourself feeling kind of, lost my earring here. You almost feel yourself feeling a little like, almost kind of edgy. That's called resistance. Resistance is also when you hear something and then you may feel your jaw or a part of your body clench because it touches something. That's resistance. So make note of when you hear resistance. Why is resistance important to make note of? Because it's telling you something about yourself. That resistance may be part of that alarm clock of destiny that is telling you, oh, I want to change, but there's something inside of me that's not ready to change. So note your resistance this evening. Also, of course, if you hear something that resonates, jot it down for yourself. You know, there's been studies that talk about when you write something and how it connects to the brain. So when you hear something that resonates this evening, make sure that you write it down. So, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of times you're going to hear me say this terminology. This is a terminology I use. And if you listen to my podcast or watch my show, I use this. I say queen. So I will say kings and queens this evening. I'm going to ask you a question. This one question. And maybe you should write it down for yourself. What do you really want? What is it that you truly desire for your life? I'll give you 3 seconds just to even ponder that for a moment. That was more than 3 seconds, so we're going to go on. Because what we're going to do is, I want that thing that you truly desire, that thing that you truly want. Some of you made goals at the beginning of the year, right? It's still the beginning of the year. Some of you made New Year's resolutions. Some of you have made, some people call them promises. I know some people don't like using the word resolution, but I want you to think, if you think about your deepest desire, what is it that you truly want? And that is what I want you to keep at the forefront of your minds as we continue with tonight's presentation. Because the thing I want to tell you tonight is that moving from stuck to unstuck starts and ends with you. I know it's a lot of thought, and you're like, I know this already, but I want you to really hear me when I say this evening. That moving from stuck to unstuck starts and ends with you. So what do I mean by that? Well, sometimes in our lives, we may say, you know, I'm here because of my parents. I'm here because of my husband. I'm here because of my wife. I'm here because of my coworkers. I'm here because my boss did this. I'm here because that person did that. I'm here. I'm stuck because of COVID. But ladies and gentlemen, being stuck is a state of mind. I want you to let that sink in for one moment. Being stuck is a state of mind. Let me just tell you this. I feel the need to tell you this. You heard, if you were listening or if you came in when my biography was being read, you heard that I moved from the United States, the country of my birth, the country of my parents' birth, the country of my grandparents' birth, the country of my great-grandparents' birth. Yes, that many people, that many generations. And I moved here just 5 months ago. Did anyone hear that there was a pandemic going on? Did anyone hear that there was a pandemic going on? Now, I never thought about this because I've been trying to get to Kenya and move here for 3 years, 3 years. And people kept telling me, and they even as recently as yesterday, that's a brave move that you made coming here. That's a brave move that you made. I don't have any relatives here. I only had one friend when I moved to the country. And I really didn't think of it as a brave move. I just said, well, I wanted to move to Kenya, so I did. They opened up the borders back up to Americans, and I said, I'm in, and I came. But does anyone think that I could have used the pandemic as a legitimate, I'm not gonna say even as an excuse, as a seemingly legitimate reason not to move to an entirely another country where I had not a single blood relative? I wish I could see your hands going up or something, right? Or nod your head or say yes, typing yes in the chat. But what I realized is, in hearing people say this thing to me, that it was bold, I didn't do it for a bold move. I did it because it was something that I wanted to do. But if I would have stayed in the United States saying that, well, it's a pandemic, I can't move during a pandemic, it would have been a state of mind. The fact that I knew I could move was my state of mind. Is anyone hearing me here? So let's get on with this. I want to take you on a journey. And I want you to take it back. I want you to go back into your past for just a moment. Now, when I'm asking you to go in your past, I'm not just asking you to go just to any old past, but especially for those of you who are feeling that you're in a stuck place, for those of you who thought you would be miles ahead of where you were in 2021, for those of you who had the flashing lights and the beautiful picture, but now you find yourself in a position that you thought you would have moved from in 2021, I want you to go to that past. And the thing I want you to consider is key number one for moving from stuck to unstuck is to consider the past that got you here. I want you to think about that for a moment. Let me give you an example. I was going back and forth with this, if I even was to share this with you. But I'm gonna quickly share something that has happened. I'm gonna walk you through something that has happened since I've been right here in Kenya in the past 5 months. Just not even about a month ago, I saw my life as a train wreck. There was something that happened that had me looking and saying, oh my gosh, I'm stuck. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck. And when I looked at the past, that brought me here. And it wasn't the so distant past I saw what it was. So you hear me now telling you that Vuyanzi Coaches, my show, is on YouTube, but it did not start off there. I'm going to ask you to stay with me because I want to make sure you're on this journey as I bring you to, so you can see the parallel with your own life. So I brought it to YouTube, but it used to be on a TV network. I got a call back in May from a CEO of a small independent TV network asking me if I wanted to have a show. I consented to having a show there. I created it and produced it myself, along with some help of friends, and myself. My role at the TV network continued to morph in such a way that eventually I actually purchased my own channel on the TV network. Well, that seemed like a big deal, right? I mean, that seems like it's progress, correct? And then even from there, I began to have a closer relationship with the network and played more of a role there, increasing business for the network and really looking at this as, this is my golden ticket. Did anyone ever watch Willy Wonka, the golden ticket? Maybe you're nodding your heads, but the golden ticket, right? So this is gonna be it. I have my channel, my role is increasing with the network. And then all of a sudden, there was to put it nicely, a parting of ways, and the parting of ways made my life look like it was a train wreck, that all I could do was just sit there, watch, and witness it. It was almost like an out-of-body experience. Everything that I had banked on, everything that I had put my time and energy into, all of a sudden was, and I was like, I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck. In this situation. But hold on, I want to pause and now look to you. Those of you who are feeling stuck, think about the people, the places, the things that all played a part in being where you are right now. If you need to jot that down, then go ahead and jot that down. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. But what was it in the past? And for me, it wasn't even a year ago that all of these experiences had happened that brought you to where you are now. I'm gonna wait 5 seconds, give you a chance to think about that, give you a chance to write it down. Key number 2. From moving from stuck to unstuck is looking at your present day. So I want you to imagine something. Kings and queens, I want you to imagine this really quickly. I want you to imagine your body is the present. Either you can go from left to right, and I know you're looking at me in the mirror position, but this is my left and this is my right. So to my left is the past. So I want you to imagine you're looking at the past that got you to the present. For those of you, if it's not easy for you to see that timeline going through your body, going across like this, then take it across this way, from the front of you to the back. The back is the past, but still the present is always right here in the middle. You doing that? Okay. Now, for a moment, I'm gonna share again, but I'm gonna take this off in just a second. So I want you to imagine that you already saw, for me, it's easy for me to look from left to right. So I already saw the events that led up to this. But now here is my present. Here is my present. And let me take it back to my story for a moment, because this is the thing I want you to take away. Someone type in the chat, alignment. I'm gonna pause. I need you to type alignment into the chat right now, because this is going to be the most important thing of everything that I say. It's about alignment. Go ahead and type it in the chat. Thank you. Keep going, keep going. Alignment, alignment. Go ahead and type in alignment. Thank you, thank you. to everyone who is typing in alignment, because this thing is important. That's why I'm having you type it in. You could write it down on a piece of paper. Thank you to everyone who's writing it out right now. Alignment. I'm going to kill this slide for a moment. So, there we go. Let's go to there. So, oh, sorry, I need to change. There we go. So the thing I want you to remember about alignment is 3 key areas: the mind, the heart, and actions. The mind, the heart, and actions. Mind, heart, action. So how does that bring me to the present? I just told you about the train wreck that happened in my life, but then I had to look at my present. We're talking about moving from stuck to unstuck. When I realized, because I was like, what happened? I got stuck and I saw myself getting stuck. And then I realized what had happened. What did we say? We said alignment. My mind had known that I wanted to work in a certain way. Follow me here. I had created for myself in September, around September, a little bit after I got here. I landed in Kenya on August 23rd. And in September, I created something. I didn't create it, but I found something called a freedom schedule. I knew exactly what days I wanted to work. I knew how I wanted my schedule to look. I knew the days I wanted to not be doing things. And I knew I didn't want to work on weekends, maybe send an email or two, but I didn't want to be sitting at my computer for, hours and hours on the weekend. My heart. So, but hold on. That's what I knew. My mind knew that. Watch this. My heart. My heart had grown weary. Why? To not go into any gory detail tonight, but my heart had grown weary because what started happening is I had to start, the expression is putting out a lot of fires that the network had started. So for instance, I woke up one morning because I was 8 or 9 hours ahead of most people that I was working with. And I woke up one morning to a crazy, crazy email that made my heart like, oh my gosh, it made my heart so heavy. My whole body it stemmed from my heart. My whole body felt awful because it was a fire that I knew that the network had made that now I was left to put out. My heart wasn't in it. My heart didn't want to do that. My heart didn't want to put out fires because I don't live that kind of lifestyle where I have to keep putting out fires. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely. But I'm not really a fire starter in that way. I ignite good fires. Hopefully I'm igniting something tonight with you. But nevertheless, my heart was growing weary because that type of thing was happening over and over and over again. So listen, what do we say? Alignment. My mind knew how I wanted to work. My heart was over here with growing weary. And now what was the third thing? Anyone remember the third thing? The actions. What was my actions doing? My action was putting out the fires. All of a sudden I found myself working and removing time from another business I had and just working hours I didn't want to work. One weekend I sat at my computer and listen, if you enjoy on a Saturday when the beautiful sun is shining outside, sitting at your computer from 9 to 5, then that's fine. I didn't like that. And I found myself a few weekends doing that. And then when I didn't do it, I was made to feel guilty. So my actions were here. My mind was here. My heart was over here. Can someone say alignment? So if my heart, my mind, and my actions are in 3 different places, and if you're thinking about your life right now, and your heart and your mind are in, your heart, your mind, and your actions are in 3 different places, You're not aligned. So I need to ask you this, ladies and gentlemen, this evening. How can you move from being stuck to unstuck if you're not even living in alignment? Even if 2 out of the 3 are aligned and the 3rd isn't, you're out of alignment. Have you ever driven a car that was out of alignment? I can tell you about this because I used to drive a lot of old cars in my day. And I can tell you that when one of my cars, I don't even remember which one it was so old, it doesn't even matter, but I just remember one time I was driving with the steering wheel like this. And guess what? Can you see this? I was driving with the steering wheel like this, but yet it was going straight. Something's wrong with that. The steering wheel shouldn't be turned all the way to the right and I'm driving straight. It was out of alignment. What did the mechanic have to do? The mechanic had to come in and do whatever they do to make the wheel straight and steer exactly the way it's supposed to be. Folks, let's do an alignment check right now. For those of you who are feeling stuck, I want you to check your mind. I want you to check your heart. And I want you to think about your actions. Because if they're not all in alignment together, you will stay stuck. Give you 5 seconds to think, to write, to ponder that. Finally, the 3rd key, your future. Shall we go back to that timeline for a moment? Remember, we said either it's going from left to right. The left is your past. Right here represents your present. We know the importance of alignment. And then to the right, now you're gonna hear my cat meow. I'm sorry about that. And to the right is your future. Or either front to back. Your front is your future. The back is your past, your present. Remember that question that I asked you? What do you really want? When you think about your goal, when you think about where you truly want to be, look at it, look at it. Look at it in your mind. What actions, what mindset, where does your heart need to be in order to get to that goal that you're looking at? Remember I said do an alignment check. Now's the time to do an alignment check, even to think about if I really want to be this thing. Even going back for escape you. When I told you that in January of 2018, that I left my job because I was out of alignment. How am I going to be on the road 80% of the time and somehow build some kind of business? It simply wasn't going to work, because even though my heart, my mind wanted to, my actions were that of the job that I had to do. And I was tired. If you've ever traveled for work 80% of the time, you're on planes 2 and 3 times, you get a little tired. I didn't even have time. I couldn't even give myself the best that I had for my future. Kings and queens, when you're looking at your future, are you aligned so that you can take the necessary actions that you need to take in order to get there? What is it that you want? Let me be clear about this. In the past, when I've asked this question, and this still happens, because I even ask a lot of coaching clients this question, what do you want? I get answers like, I want to be successful. I want to be wealthy. I want to be, but you need to be specific, because there need to be specific actions to get you there. And you need to have a specific mindset, a specific heart set. And all of these things need to be aligned to get you there. Saying you want to be successful, I'm sorry, it's not enough. It's not enough. Know what you want specifically, because if you don't know what it is that you want specifically, you will never be aligned. You will continue to be stuck, and you won't even know where your mind, your heart, and your actions are supposed to be. So how can you even begin to get them aligned? What do you really want? What did I tell you at the beginning of my talk? I said, this is about the alarm clock of destiny. Some of you have heard something that said, ooh, maybe my mind isn't right. Ugh, my heart isn't in this. Ooh, my actions aren't aligning. Remember, 2 out of 3 ain't good enough. Yes, I'm using bad grammar on purpose to get your attention. 2 out of 3 isn't good enough. This is your alarm clock of destiny telling you you have got to get in alignment if you're going to move from being stuck to unstuck, if you're going to move towards the future that you're seeing, if the future is to be bright, if the future is to be viable, if the future is to be lived, if your life is to be lived more abundantly, then that is your alarm clock of destiny that's telling you it's time to move. So what do you do today from here? Well, review. The teacher side of me already told you, take some notes. Think about what's being said. Review it. Decide where you are in this process. And then take action. Now, for some of you, I always like to talk to these people first. I always like to talk to the following, these people first. Some of you have heard this. You're like, oh, Vuyanzi, I know exactly what it is I need to do. My heart, my mind, my mind, my heart, my actions. I got this. Bye. And I say that's beautiful, because a lot of times I talk and I've actually had people, after hearing me in one particular talk, come back months later and say, I still remember that talk and I started doing this to get towards it. So those are some of you. But for the rest of us, what do you start to do from here? Well, some of you may want to take advantage that I'm only giving for this week. You may run out of appointments. This week is really tight. You can do next week too, but after next week, I won't be doing it. You can do a free complimentary full session with me. I just put the link back in the chat if you want to take advantage and schedule a one-on-one coaching session with me. What does that entail? That entails moving the needle. Now, granted, you heard in my biography that primarily I've worked with women, but believe it or not, I'm starting to work with men too. So if there's any needle in your life that needs to be moved, so many people come to me because they're starting businesses and there's something in their lives over here that's really not going to be aligned to their business. Listen, our lives are not siloed. Your professional and your personal life definitely go hand in hand. And even there's, I talked about the mind, the heart, and your actions, but even the things you're doing in your life. I can't be robbing banks and come here and just, be talking it up and talking about moving from stuck to unstuck. Right? My life needs to be in alignment with what I'm doing. I just put the link in there. If you want to schedule a full one-on-one session with me so that you can leave with clarity, breakthrough, and even an action plan, a mini action plan that's tangible enough that you don't even have to look at this big old dome again. What's next in terms of the action to take? Another action you can take. Definitely follow me. I have been doing lives for well over, for going on 2 years now. And you can be motivated and encouraged by my lives. You can find me on Facebook at Life Coach Vuyanzi. You can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm getting better with LinkedIn, but there's some articles that I have written there, and every once in a while I post there too. Facebook is probably the most active because I do lives. I even did a live today about opportunity. In case you don't know it, in the United States today, it's Dr. Martin Luther King Day. It's the day that we acknowledge the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And it's a big deal for Americans because that is the only day that celebrates a Black man. So today I talked a little bit about, because of him, what I'm able to do today. So go ahead and you can even begin to follow me. And finally, I've mentioned this a few times about Vuyanzi coaches on YouTube. And the advantage to that is I've taken my practice, if you will, my coaching practice to the masses. When it was on the TV network, I had a number of people tell me that they saw an episode and that the episode resonated and helped to begin a change. I'm not going to say it did all the work, but it developed something in them that sparked the change that they needed. So just 22 seconds to watch this real quick. You can feel free to check me out if you're like, well, what is your coaching really like? And you can see that it just started this weekend. So go ahead and subscribe to that. And I want to say thank you to the Rotary Club for having me here today. I am willing to accept any questions that you may have about me, about my practice of life coaching, or even a question about your own life if you'd like. Thank you to everyone for your attention. Thank you to those of you who were engaged. And tonight, I hope can be the start for many of you to move from being stuck to unstuck. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Vuyanzi. So we're going to, as the people ponder about, just what you talked about, we're going to move to a different session. Please share your questions. You can send them on the channel or on the message box, or after the next session, you can ask them to her. So just hold on. So I shall ask our PE to step in as our SAA for this evening.
Thank you, President Malaki. My name is P. Wilson Kamau. It's time for SAA. And in the spirit of January, we won't have fines today. We'll only do happy dollars and sad dollars. Sorry. So I want to take this opportunity to invite you all to give you happy dollar, sad dollar. So happy dollar, sad dollar is a session where you get to share what something you've been happy about during the last week and something that has made you sad during the last week. So yeah, take this opportunity to welcome you to and give you happy dollar, sad dollar. I'll start off my happy dollar contribution and just say it's good to be back to the club meetings for this year. So happy dollar for this new year, and a second happy dollar for our guest speaker, Vuyanzi. Thank you so much for your talk. So the floor is now open.
Shall I?
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, President Malaki and fellow Rotarians. My dear friend Vuyanzi, my name is Rotarian Washera from RC Karengata. I have two happy dollars. One happy dollar is for the talk we've had today. Very, very insightful. That was amazing. Always glad to listen to a wise person. And then my second happy dollar is, this is the first meeting I have attended this year. Can you imagine, guys? Asanteni for having me.
Thank you so much. So is any other person? Floor is open, and you can send your contributions to the number on the screen, the PayBill number on the screen.
Hi.
Hi, Washara, go ahead.
Okay. Happy dollar for our guest speaker. The topic was very insightful.
Thank you, Washara. Yes. You can raise your hand or you can feel free just to share. Watu, happy dollar, sad dollar. There must be something. We're all there. And this awkward salad. So still, the floor is still open for happy dollar, sad dollar. I mean, in January kabisa watu hakuna kitu.
Can I give it a go?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Just there's Corinne just given her happy dollar, and she says she'd like to give a happy dollar for this session. It's what she needed. Thank you, Corinne. I have 5 happy dollars. For the meeting, for the attendance, and most of all for the guest speaker. Thank you very, very much for joining us this evening. And many people can attest that this has been a great and very informative. Thank you.
Thank you, President. They don't want to close the door because I think Austin, you don't have your usual happies.
Hello.
Yes, Austin.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
I'll do my 3 happies. Unfortunately, I joined a bit late. I had a problem with the link, but of course, I'm happy to be here. The first is to the guest speaker. I'm hoping what the material shared probably will stream down and you'll be able to get it. Secondly, to Amanda, it's always good to fellowship together. And thirdly, to the new year, it started well. We hope for us, those who are in business, we hope it's going to be a year where we recover and forget last year's pains and hassles. Asante sana.
Thank you, Austin. So, any more happy dollar, sad dollar? I've seen a happy dollar here from Tony Mainge. Happy dollar to the informative and insightful session. Thank you so much, Tony. Also from Kama Namai, happy dollar for the great session today. Yeah. So again, you can still actually post your happy dollar on the charts. And remember to send your contributions via the M-Pesa pay bill to using the numbers on the screen. So any more happy dollars? Okay.
Hey Wilson, I'll give my 2 happy and sad dollar. Happy dollar for the talk today. Thank you very much, Coach Vuyanzi. That was very insightful. Sad dollar that technology has failed me in the last 2 days. I have been offline on almost all social networks on my phone. And it's given me time to reflect how life was analog. It's given me time to spend with my loved ones on face-to-face conversations as opposed to just being on my phone throughout. Sorry to anyone who might have tried to reach me and I was unreachable. But yeah, let's see how long I can push with this analog world.
Thank you so much, Njoki. Yeah, I see another
I'll add a sad dollar to Njoki's sad dollar because I've been trying to reach her.
Ole sana.
Cool. Any more happy dollar, sad dollar? I've seen here from Fred Angwenyi, happy dollar to the talk and for alignment. Yes, so thank you so much, Fred. I don't want to close it for anyone. So last call for happy dollar, sad dollar. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for giving me this time. But Bona President, over back to you.
Thank you very much, PE. Thank you. Really appreciate that you did this for us. So we shall now go back to the Q&A session. Anyone with a question, please raise your hand. And those, if you have any questions, just raise your hand, and then I shall select you. If you're shy, you can always type, and yeah, I can read it out for you. Thank you. Any questions? Any other question? Wow. Eden, may you have any questions? So there's a first question from Esther Hall, and it's, what are the 3 items that must be aligned?
Okay, that is the mind, the heart, and your actions. So saying that they all need to be in alignment with each other. Your mindset, making sure that your heart and your mind are connected in that the thing that you're aiming for, and making sure that your actions actually are following suit with both of those. Those are the 3 things. You're welcome, Esther.
Any other question? Okay, thanks. How does one align the 3? This is from Lydia Ndirangu.
Well, I did so first of all, thank you for those of you who are asking questions. And I did a short version of it, but it is about taking the time out to check, almost doing an alignment check. Because when I gave that example of my life and me parting ways with the network, at that present time, I realized that my actions weren't doing what my heart really wanted to do. And my mind had set out to do something else. But it was almost like I was forced to look at that reality because of that big parting that happened. So taking the time, listen, when you're moving, right? So all of us work, whether it's a job or you're an entrepreneur, whatever it might be. So we're always in movement, but how much time are we taking to stop, just to stop and say, Am I really following? Is everything in alignment? So really, it's about pausing, which is so easy not to do, right? We're busy working, we're busy following up, we're busy, you know, so I like socializing, you know, we're busy socializing, but take a moment by yourself. And that's a lot of time when I'm with my clients and I'm doing one-on-one work, we get a chance to work and to do that. A lot of times, you ever heard the expression where they say, well, what does your gut say about it? This is the last point I want to make. A friend had been observing me going through all of this, and I told him what in the end happened. And I said, you knew I shouldn't have been doing that anyway. And he looked at me, he said, I was waiting for you to figure it out because that was going to kill you. Spiritually, you would not last. So, but it took something harsh. Don't let it take something harsh for you. Take time out to be quiet and just listen to that. I do that with my clients as well. Thank you for the question.
Is there any other question? Okay. Okay. So we don't have any other question. So we shall go to the next part of the meeting. Sorry. So I shall invite Rotarian Faith to give the vote of thanks.
Hi, everybody. So on behalf of Rotary Club of Madaraka, I would like to give a big thanks to Vuyanzi, our speaker today, for sharing your work with us. It's been very informative, insightful, and lively. So thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Rotarian Faith. Vuyanzi, thank you very, very much for accepting our invitation and going a step further to invite us to schedule sessions with you. So what I'll do is I'll just drop the link in the chat again for those interested. Please reach out and share with your friends your experience, you know, and family experience. Thank you. So we shall go to the final part, which is a final toast by the president. So to the final toast, to the Rotary Club of UN Afia, the Rotary Club of Kampala Metro, the Rotary Club of Karengata. This is Rotary Club of Nairobi Madaraka. I give you Rotary and Rotaract the world over.
Rotary the world over.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.